Okay. So let's say I have really good startup. Should I look for investment from angel investor or from venture capital?
Anybody who will fund you. I wouldn't discriminate until you figure out who's interested and who's not. Depending on the business, it might be more naturally angel fundable or venture fundable. But venture capitalists typically have a higher bar. So for first-time entrepreneurs, it might be easier to go to angels to fund.
So on what level of development should I look for investment?
On what level of development?
Yes.
Well, typically you need a working prototype. Sometimes if you're a really famous person, you can get financed based upon a business idea, but typically people want to see a prototype, and that lets them know you have the ability to develop it, as well as it lets them get their hands around what you're actually talking about and lets them study who might use it. They can see how often people use it, how long they use it for. Maybe they see how much people want to pay for it. So if there's a working prototype, investors can learn a whole lot more about the company, and therefore their risk is quite a bit lower, and therefore it's easier for them to make an investment.
Okay. What do you personally look for in startup?
I look for passion and expertise. I like to invest in best-of-breed entrepreneurs. So they are the most expert in the space they're going after, and they're extremely passionate about it.
In how many startups you have invested so far?
So directly, probably recently, maybe about 10 personal investments with my own money.
And for instance, what was it?
So there's one company called SendGrid, which is started a couple of years ago by Isaac Saldana, and it solves the problem of transactional email, which is actually very difficult for companies to solve themselves. Let's say companies like Foursquare that need to send out emails. Hey, so-and-so checked in near you. So SendGrid solves that problem very cheaply and very effectively. They have a very excellent, very cool technology, and so it's an example of something that a very expert team solved a problem that I have some experience with that I never knew how to solve, and they do it economically, and they can charge a reasonable amount for it and make a good chunk of money.
What good advice could you give for Polish startups?
Just do it. It's difficult, but you take your first step, and mountains will move. It's a very long, hard road, but if you start chasing with passion, you will see people that are interested in what you're doing will step forward and help you, and that just gets the ball rolling. So don't hesitate, just jump off and go do it.
And when do you see that your startup has potential?
Before you start it. The entrepreneur has to believe in it, otherwise they'll never get anywhere. There's a few different steps along the way. There are steps like getting investment. Maybe before that is getting your first paying customer. There are many businesses where they have the receipt from their first sale nailed to the wall. It's a huge milestone because it demonstrates that people actually pay for what you're doing. Maybe hiring your first employee is an important milestone. And probably the ultimate milestone is the sale of the company.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.